It's a 2000-year-old private diary written by a man who had the entire Roman Empire resting on his shoulders, a man who dealt with pandemics, constant warfare, and political treachery that makes a Game of Thrones episode look like a team building exercise. So, this isn't a self help book, it's an emperor's private war journal. Today, we are dissecting the raw, unfiltered operating system of none other than Marcus Aurelius in the Meditations. So, welcome to Daily Practice with me, Nikhil. So, let's get a clear picture. Marcus Aurelius was the last of the five, quote unquote, five good emperors.
And then the Dacian ambassador said he preferred the taste of the Tiber to our finest wine.
He must have truly been a barbarian.
A man Plato would often call as a philosopher king. But don't imagine a serene life of contemplation. His reality was a crisis after crisis. He spent over a decade on the frozen northern frontier fighting Germanic tribes in brutal, bloody campaigns. He survived the plague, a pandemic that killed apparently 5 million people, including his co-emperor. He buried at least 8 of his children and his beloved wife. He dealt with constant political backstabbing, including a full-blown revolt by one of his own trusted generals. Meditations was his private journal. He wasn't building a brand. He wasn't workshopping tweets. He was forging tools to keep his own mind from collapsing under this pressure. He was his own kind of therapist, his own life coach, his own drill sergeant. The philosophy he practiced, Stoicism, isn't about feeling less. It's about caring more intelligently. It's about achieving a state of unwavering character. So we're going to break down some of these central pillars of this wonderful little code which he built. These aren't just ideas to admire, they are kind of algorithms in our own head.
Are you ready, boss? Let's go.
So the pillar 1, the dichotomy of control. If you only remember one thing from this episode, this might be it. Marcus relentlessly drilled into his own mind the need to distinguish between what he could control and what he couldn't. Imagine you're a pilot of an airplane flying through storm. There are things you have absolute control. Your checklist, your handling, the controls, your communication with the tower, your training, etc. These are inside the cockpit. Then there are things that you have zero control of. The storm itself, the turbulence, the actions of other pilots, the fact that a flock of geese has decided to have a meeting at 10,000 feet. These are outside the cockpit. The amateur pilot wastes precious energy yelling at the storm. Professional pilot focus entirely on the instruments in front of them. And in a way, your life is the same. Your inner sanctuary, the cockpit, contains only things you truly command. And what do we command? Your judgment. Not what happens, but the story we tell ourselves about what happens. We have covered this in the form of second arrow. Then we have our intentions, the why behind your actions. Are you acting from a place of fear or a place of virtue? Your actions, the physical and mental effort you put forth. Your character, the person you choose to be, moment by moment. That's it. So your judgment, your intentions, your actions, your character. Small but indefinitely powerful domain. Everything else, your reputation, the health, the economy, other people's opinions. Is it the weather? None of that you can control. You can contemplate it. You can influence it. You can prepare for it, but you cannot control it. And this is the main principle of Stoicism, realizing that all human misery stems from a simple categorizing mistake, and attempting to control the things which we cannot control. So, in his meditations, he wrote, "The cucumber is bitter, so throw it out. There are brambles in the path, then go around. That's all you need to know." And this may be confused with passivity. It's the ultimate strategic advantage, though. By refusing to waste a single drop of energy on the uncontrollable, you have 100% of your attention, power available for the one battle you can win, the one for your own mind. Pillar 2, the obstacle is other people. And that's the point. All right, so we can learn to accept external events, but what about the most frustrating, unpredictable external of all? The other people. The colleagues who take credit for your work. A family member who knows exactly which buttons to push. The driver who cuts you off. And again, here, Marcus had a brilliant and frankly hilarious reframe for this. He begins his book 2 with this gem. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. And at first class, I know what you're thinking. It sounds cynical, but it's not. It's a form of preparation. And he called it premeditatio malorum. My Latin is a bit weak, so I apologize to all who listen to Latin, who study Latin. So premeditatio malorum for social interaction. He's not saying people are inherently bad. He's saying that they're often ignorant, acting out on their own pain, fear, and flawed judgments. And these difficult people are not bugs in our operating system. Sorry to labor the computer narrative. They are features. They are not obstacles to the virtuous life. They are the very equipment you need to practice it. You can't practice patience in a world with patient people. You can't practice forgiveness if no one ever wrongs you. You can't practice kindness if everyone is already kind to you. These people are kind of your partner in the gym. They reveal your weaknesses, they test your principles. And thanking them is probably a bridge too far, but seeing them as necessary for your own growth. Now that's what he was talking about. They provide the resistance you need to grow stronger. Pillar 3, memento mori, the ultimate filter. So let's get a little dark before we find the light. The next pillar, memento mori, means remember, you must die. For the Stoics, this wasn't about morbid or being morbid. It was a universe ultimate pro tip for decluttering your soul. Death is it's the hard deadline that makes work meaningful. And he would use this thought to change his ideas about trivial things. He'd ask himself, is it worth my dying time? Is getting an argument with a stranger in the comment section worth your dying time? Is obsessing over a mistake you made 3 years ago worth your dying time? Is mindlessly scrolling through curated images of other people's happiness worth your dying time? When you think about it that way, the answer almost inevitability is a big No. And as he put it, you could leave life right now and let that determine what you do and say and think. And again, this isn't a threat, it's liberation. It frees you from the tyranny of this insignificant life. Insignificant in the sense, eventually everything comes to an end. But it's also a powerful tool to generate the most important skill we all practice, gratitude. The fact that your time is finite makes the present moment infinitely more precious. The breakfast you're eating, the sound of the rain in the window, the person sitting across you, they are just moments to get through. They are substance of your one finite life. Memento mori transforms the mundane into the sacred. It's the ultimate filter for all of this. The pillar 4, amor fati, the alchemist's mindset. If the dichotomy of control is like the white belt of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control is like you can't control the things which you can't control, then this pillar is the black belt. It translates to a love of one's fate. This is the most radical idea of them all, I think. It's not just about accepting what happens. It's not even about finding a silver lining. It's about actively loving everything that happens to you, seeing it all as essential material for the person you're becoming. And Marcus saw the human mind as this blazing fire. A small fire can be extinguished by a log being tossed into it, but a great roaring bonfire consumes everything it touches and uses it as fuel, burning hotter and brighter. Obstacles, setbacks, betrayals, failures, they are not impediments to your life. They are your life. They are the fuel. The impediment to action advances action, he wrote. What stands in the way becomes the way. And this was famously quoted in a Batman movie as well. This is the ultimate reframe. The default human reaction to adversity is to complain, to ask, why me? The Stoic alchemists ask, how can I use this? The universe isn't just happening to you, it's happening for you. It's providing you with exact challenges you need to forge the virtues you lack right now. The project deadline isn't a source of stress, it's a training ground for focus and discipline. That betraying friend isn't a tragedy, it's a masterclass in self reliance and forgiveness. A creative failure isn't bad, isn't an indictment on your talent, it's a gift of data telling you what you can change next time. And this, the love of the fate, amor fati, creates an invincible mindset. Because if everything that happened or happens to you is fuel, how can you be ever stopped? You don't just play the hand you've dealt, you learn to love the hand, whatever it is. So how do we put it all into practice? So here are some of the drills which we can use in our day-to-day life. So the first thing is an evening review. Before bed, take 5 minutes with a journal, not to judge, but to gather data. Ask these 3 questions. 1. What went well? What went poorly? And how can I do better tomorrow? So when we ask what went well, where did I act according to my values? Where did I focus on my circle of control? What went poorly? Where did I get carried away by the things which I cannot control, like the externals? And what sort of vice got the better of me today? And third question, how can I be better tomorrow? Set a specific intention. If my colleague interrupts me again, I will practice patience by taking deep breath before responding. And this is your personal A/B test for character. You try different things, see what works. And it's how you iterate towards a better version of yourself. A second actionable takeaway for you is the Plato's view, the cosmic zoom out. When you feel overwhelmed, what happens is we narrow our focus so tight, so close to that thing which we are focused on. And in order to counter that, try this visualization. Imagine your consciousness floating upwards. See your room, your building, keep rising. See your city, then the continent, then the earth, and then the earth from the moon, a beautiful blue marble suspended in infinite black void. And from this vantage point, see the sweep of human history. See empires rise and fall on that tiny marble. Now, where's your problem? Where's that person who annoyed you? And then, now, slowly zoom back in. Bring in that cosmic perspective with you. The problem is still there, but its emotional weight has been recalibrated. 3. The emotional fire drill. In the morning, take 60 seconds to visualize what could go wrong today. Your boss might be irrational, the train might be delayed, a key client might pull out. And the key is the second step. Decide in advance on your own virtuous response. If the train is delayed, I will use the time to listen to this podcast or read a book instead of fuming. You aren't being pessimistic. You are rehearsing. You are stripping away the powerful destructive element of surprise. And when the inevitable happens, your mind says, yes, I was expecting you. I'm ready. And there's this advanced technique which I don't recommend unless you really dig deep into Stoicism, is practicing misfortune. This is more difficult for a lot of us, but deliberately introducing small controlled doses of discomfort into your life, taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, sleeping on hard floor for a night. The point isn't to create a torturous life. It's to prove that your mind can handle more than you think. It's to reduce your fear of discomfort. Do that thing which you feel scared to do right now. And to cultivate gratitude for the comforts you normally take for granted. It builds resilience and shrinks your list of needs. So Marcus Aurelius wrote these notes, 2,000 years ago to himself, not to achieve any sort of happiness or not to sell books on Amazon, but to achieve something called eudaimonia, a Greek concept meaning flourishing, human flourishing, or living in accordance with your best self. And his writings are timeless. Reminder that external events do not define us. This has been practiced by many people who are living right now. Our response to them does. The world will not just stop being chaotic. People will always be unpredictable. The only thing we can truly perfect, if I would choose that word, is our own inner world. The goal isn't to build a fortress to hide from life. It's to build an inner citadel, a calm, rational command center from which you can engage with the world with strength, purpose, and even a certain grace. So this is not ancient philosophy. That's a superpower. So thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for listening. to Daily Practice with Nikhil. This was a deep dive into Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, a wonderful book on Stoicism. And if you like what we do, please consider coming back for more, sharing your thoughts, comments, and feedback. And obviously, do not forget to subscribe and follow for more of this content. Thank you. And I'll see you again on the next episode.